Hello, everyone. This is Jay Dobbins, your host of the Marvel DC Universe Fan Club. We are now episode 219, and I'll be doing my review on 21 Bridges starring Chadwick Boseman. So, spoiler alert, if you have not seen 21 Bridges yet, I strongly suggest you do not listen to this episode. Been warned. So, of course, young Andre Davis attends his father's funeral, who was murdered by one of the who was murdered during one of his shifts. Years later, Davis becomes a successful law enforcer working for the NYPD, who has over 8 kills working for the city. One night, two small-time criminals and former war veterans, Michael Trujillo and Ray Jackson, take a job to ransack a winery and steal several kilograms of cocaine it was keeping. The heist goes wrong when they realize there is more cocaine than they were expecting, and police officers casually arrive at the location. They are forced into a shootout where Ray guns down the officers, and of course, Michael chastised Ray for putting them in jeopardy due to the officers' deaths. Andre Davis is assigned to the case, struggling with the legacy of his deceased police officer father. Davis has earned a reputation for hunting down and killing cop killers, although he claims they're all in self-defense and is uncomfortable with the label, of course. So, narcotics detective Frankie Burns is assigned as Davis's partner. Davis and Burns come into conflict with FBI agents um, Buchko and Dugan, who attempt to take over the case. With the reluctant approval of the deputy mayor, the FBI and the officers, precinct head Captain McKenna, Davis asks for Manhattan to be locked down, although they are given until only 5 o'clock a.m. to catch the criminals. Now on the run, Ray and Michael course their liaison Bush to persuade their handler to give them a bigger cut in exchange for the identities change for their escape. They are given more money and their fixer, Eddie. Sorry, 80 gives them new identities and tells them to depart for Miami the next morning. Davis and Burns manage to identify Ray, Michael, and Bush in the resulting investigation. Bush is gunned down by Buchko and Dugan when they get there first. After catching Buchko planning um, his sidearm on Bush's body and briefly scuffling with him, Davis feels more suspicious when a police force led by Lieutenant Kelly quickly manages to locate Addie's apartment. Addie is mortally wounded by the policeman, but manages to give Michael um, two flash drives two flash drives before Michael and Ray escaped. So Davis and Burns managed to catch up to Michael and Ray. After accidentally killing a civilian, Ray is mortally wounded by Davis. Michael then holds Burns at gunpoint and tells Davis about the drives and how suspicious everything is before escaping. Burns chastises Davis for letting Michael escape despite Davis' supposed reputation for killing those who murder cops. Michael manages to hide in a hotel room where he unlocks and contents where he unlocks contents of the drive and realizes that McKenna's precinct is involved in trafficking the drugs from the winery and earning profits for it. After after another chase, where Michael abandons his money, Davis manages to corner him in a subway train and convinces him to surrender, promising to keep him alive. Michael is suddenly shot by Burns, who had also boarded the train and claimed that she thought Michael was still holding Davis at gunpoint. Davis berates her for shooting Michael, uh, who secretly hands over the drives alongside the password to them to Davis before dying. So, but yeah, hands it to him, of course. As the police congratulate the two for their efforts, Davis realizes that Burns had contacted Kelly before Audie's apartment was raided. The next morning, McKenna arrives at his home to find Davis holding him at gunpoint. Having found out the contents in the drives, McKenna reasons that the officers were struggling to survive on a measly pay, which forced them to go into drug trafficking, but fails to convince Davis to walk away. McKenna, a hiding Buchko, Dugan, and Kelly were all on McKenna's payroll. Then opened fire at Davis. Davis kills all of them, including McKenna, who refuses to surrender. Burns, who is also allied with McKenna, then appears from behind and holds Davis at gunpoint. Davis manages to convince her to appear from behind and convinces her to surrender after revealing that he had already leaked the information online that he doesn't want her daughter to live without her mother. So should she get a life sentence for killing him? In the aftermath, Davis solemnly drives off on one of New York's bridges in the sunset, and the drives are shown to be snapped. So I'm going to say that this movie was very good. I give it an 80 pretty much. It wasn't a masterpiece, but it was very good. The writing was good. Everything was pretty much. I'd just say there was no rush pretty much in the film. Nothing was crammed in. You know, it was on point. They stuck to the script. The cinematography was excellent. The setting was excellent. The writing was excellent. The cast was very talented. Um, there was a lot of action. It was not very disappointing at all. And Chadwick Boseman did a wonderful performance. So, a lot of people think that, oh yeah, he's only good for Black Panther, but he's good for other movies too. You know. So yeah, he's done a lot of good movies, including 42, Get On Up, the story about the movie about Thurgood Marshall, Black Panther, Avengers Endgame, Infinity War, and of course 21 Bridges. So he's done pretty well. Um, hats out to you, Chadwick. If you're listening to this podcast, giving you a shout out. So, but yeah, if they do a sequel to this, it's optional, but it'll be cool if they do. But yeah, the movie was on point, and no politics, nothing. Just it was done the way a movie should be done. Let's just say it that. So yeah, no distractions. Kind of think of it, I can't even. There were no plot holes in this film. So, but yeah, no plot holes at all. So, but that's the way an action movie should be done. So, filmmakers could learn a lot from this movie. Well, the director and the writers, of course. So, but that concludes this review. Feel free to visit us, like us on Facebook. We're available on iTunes, Google Play Music apps, Spotify, and of course YouTube.